issues is that we need to change the infrastructure for transportation. We need to change infrastructure for accessibility, even whether that's websites or other types of infrastructure. But ultimately, making sure that people are not penalized for not having a high enough income, for living in poverty. That seems really central to a lot of what I'm hearing. So I wonder, do you and it's okay if you don't have a clear policy plan, but do you think something like a basic income, some sort of social assistance reform is the direction that is the direction that we might need to go in with something, in order to make sure that a lot of people's lives are not hindered by this issue?
Absolutely. Just to have that more income so that at the end of the month you don't have to worry, can I get my medications or not, or eat? Like, do I have to choose between those? No one in Canada should have to choose. We are too wealthy of a nation. So having that income raised, which eventually is going to come not out of New Brunswick's pot because of the federal act. But then what I love about the Federal Disability Act is they're not allowing provinces to then say, it's all at the federal level now, because they're still going to have to provide those home care workers, but there's going to be more money there for it to ensure that there's more accessible housing available that's healthy. A lot of housing that's through New Brunswick Housing is mold ridden, and no one should be living in mold. And I know that there's limited funds, but there are some things that we can do. And I want to be clear, we'd like to see changes in social development, but it is not the social workers' fault. Their caseloads are just astronomical, and if we don't do something soon, we're going to lose them as well, which is not going to benefit anyone in this province.
Thank you.
We have a lot of work to do, but I'm confident that this committee can get us started down the right track and make monumental changes for people in New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Ms. Conroy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Ms. Petit, for that great presentation and your amazing answers, and your passion for this. I've been just jotting stuff down, but everything that you said makes so much sense, and there's so many gaps in so many areas. I guess when we, to look at the big picture, and like my colleague had said, we've been seeing a lot of the same trend over and over with the different organizations, all the different organizations we've seen in the last few days. Transportation being a huge one. We have our city buses and we have city transportation, but now when you see more and more things centralized, like specialists in different areas, and and having to go from one city to the other, to visit, make doctor's appointments and specialist appointment, things like that. Can you speak a little bit on how you see a change in that? Not only just within the city, because I know even a lot of our transits now only go until supper or a little after supper, when you talk about social outings and being able to, for mental health.
Yeah.
Getting out in the evening is an issue. Because the bus stops. We talked yesterday about shift work not being a possibility because of transportation. But I never really thought about it in all that of even when you have to go to a different province, for different things, or different cities, for different reasons within the province. Can you talk a little bit about how you see that changing in the future?
Yes, absolutely. And all those issues are not just specifically for persons with disabilities, as you mentioned. Like shift work's a huge one. I know of 2 doctors in St. John that are going to leave the province if the bus routes don't improve in St. John because they can't get to work on time. They don't mind taking their bicycle in the nice weather, but at -40, they do. And we can't afford to lose 2 doctors. We cannot. 2 young doctors, we have to keep them. So one idea within the more urban areas is something that they do in Fredericton. They have a contract